You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Hello there.
All right. Hello. And
Hello.
Gotta hit play.
Tonight on BBC One, Doctor Who and the Star Adventure on the planet Chloris.
Can you get these things off me? Did you get those things off me?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Kill him. Doctor Who at 6 o'clock tonight on BBC One.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm always looking for old time bumpers, trailers, whatever you want to call it, for Doctor Who, and that's the first time I've actually seen one. I think I love the idea of watching a little teaser for kids. See it on the BBC during the day for what they're going to get to watch at tea time tonight. Must have been very exciting.
Yes, no, that was I love. Yeah, I've seen a few of them, but not many. But that was pretty cool. I haven't seen that one. In fact, this whole episode I've actually didn't see until now.
Right? Yeah, me neither. This whole era, I'm kind of I've been negligent about following up. I think of it as the key to time era, even though that's just part of it. This season's obviously not a part of the key to time.
No.
But even something like the City of Death, which I think is the storyline that preceded this one.
Yes.
I only saw that for the first time within the last 10 years or so, fairly recently. I didn't see that when in my crazy Doctor Who fanatic days, because half of that Tom Baker run happened while I went away to summer camp, so missed a lot of it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I saw a bunch of Tom Baker episodes on NJN, but yeah, not this one. I don't know how I missed it, but yeah, no, this is the first time seeing it, and City of Death is a classic. This one, I don't know about you. This one, I wanted to like it more, but I didn't really like it as much as I thought it would. I'm sorry. If you guys are fans out there, love this episode, that's great. I wanted to like it, but I think Tom Baker was good. The actors were good. The story wasn't, I don't think. But
Yeah. Well, I don't think you're going to offend anybody because the stuff I've read out there is mostly negative. This is
okay.
Definitely one of the less popular storylines out there. I mean, I can certainly see why. There's some obvious issues with it. I thought I'll share a quick scene. A scene right near the beginning kind of sets a tone for the story, and I like it a lot. It's more whimsical, or actually witty would be a better way of saying it. If you come to Doctor Who for the wittiness, this is a pretty strong episode. Not so good with monsters and plot, but so here, but this little introductory scene where it's just the characters being characters, I enjoyed this a lot. Tom Baker and Romana. Again, Romana's a character I don't know that well because both of them were during that era where I missed a lot of it, and I've only seen bits and pieces over the years, piecing it together. But bear with me while I play this clip right off the BBC YouTube channel. So hopefully we don't get a copyright strike. Here, let's go.
Yes, we're just fans, not looking for any monster. Oh, here we go.
Use his jacket and hop into a watering can.
Bless you. Junk? Did you say junk? I don't carry junk.
What do you call myself then?
It's extremely valuable equipment.
A wool strip.
Give that to me. Come on, give it to me.
To the Doctor, a souvenir with laughing thanks for all his help with the Minotaur. Theseus and Ariadne.
Yes. If I hadn't produced that ball of string to find a way out of the labyrinth, they were going to unravel my scarf, the wretches.
All right.
Junk? I don't carry junk. That's a classic Doctor Who line, especially for Tom Baker. So it starts off like this. The wittiness, the banter. They deliver that dialogue so quick. I mean, I think you could see that Shakespearean sort of influence where it's not that dramatic. But I think, in Shakespeare, there's a lot, you got to get through a lot of lines of dialogue. Those,
yes. Oh, yes.
those plays are like 3-4 hours long. You can't take your time. And they just really, Tom Baker, I think there's like several scenes in this episode where he really delivers the dialogue quick. And it's amazing to be able to remember the lines and to, a lot of the dialogue is exposition, which you get a lot in science fiction shows in general. And he does a great job of, with the exposition, explaining things. So.
Yeah, no, I think he's good. The episode started out really good, but I think it just kind of I thought it went downhill. I mean, I think it was kind of cool how they kind of keep it a mystery of what the monster looks like, the creature in the pit.
Yeah.
But when you see it, it's just like, wow. It's like, really? And just, we'll show you guys a clip in a few minutes, but basically just looked like a giant penis. I mean, when I first saw it, that's what it looked like, just a giant phallus. And apparently when they revealed the monster on the set, everybody just was like just like that at all. And I can see why. It's just a giant wanker. So
it was very, very curious design.
And I think it was just a bunch of people under a bunch of tarp, just like, okay, now just push forward on the tarp, like, just go like this.
Sure.
The monster wasn't definitely the best they've done.
Never had a return of the Tythonian or whatever it was called. With the beautiful skin, the Doctor loved that skin of that big green blob, was caressing it, and a lot of odd things in this episode.
So some of the acting was really I don't know if you feel like watching checking out clip number 1.
Absolutely.
Just take a look at it and just you'll see.
What's that?
It's a dog.
It's made of metal.
So metal's very rare on this planet. These guys are scavengers.
Have you located the doctor yet?
Yes, he's been.
Good.
So K9's voice, I didn't really get used to it. It just sounds off to me. It's a different actor, I know, but
Honestly say it's been a pleasure. Good day.
Leave your dog.
You'll see. What was that? That was terrible. That was terrible.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah, I was never a huge K9 fan, and so then this is doubly strange because this might be the first time I've seen the other K9 voice or heard the other K9 voice, so it just doubly takes you out. But although one of the things I dislike about K9 is how he is just a get out of jail card, get out of jail free card. He's and so when he gets overwhelmed by a bunch of rolling plants in the first 5 minutes, it's like, well, okay, he's not going to be able to save them from everything because these weird rolling plants are able to completely immobilize him right away. So, and using K9 as a source of information is not bad either. So mixed feelings about K9 in this episode.
It just said I guess you saw the guy when he he was acting like he was in pain falling down, but that was just terrible acting, I think, on his part. Just you're in pain, just really try to sell it, try to sell it, but he just kind of to turn and just kind of slowly check the ground before he falls, and then I thought it was just really, I laughed out loud when I saw that. I was just like, wow, that was they should have done that again. That was just bad. That was terrible.
Which is weird because this episode was the last episode directed by a director who had been with Doctor Who for many years. We could find out. I forget his name at the moment.
Christopher Barry.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Your uncle. Good
Yes.
old Uncle Chris
My,
Barry.
yes, Uncle Chris Barry. Yes, from England. Yes.
So yeah, as like a professional, a real veteran of doing this stuff, you'd think he could, would do a better job with the actors and something like that. But my opinion is, like, in the first few minutes of the store of part one, Romana gets captured by those barbarian scavengers, and it's said like 2 times by 2 different characters, hope they kill her quickly. And you're like, oh my God, these, who has she been captured by? They must be awful. And then, like, within, 30 seconds of meeting these guys, they're just comic relief. There's no way you could be scared of these guys. And that's
They're
kind
idiots.
yeah, they're comic relief. And so I think maybe he was playing that scene for laughs. It wasn't meant to be a dramatic, fall. I think he was trying to do it silly on purpose, possibly.
I think so. Okay.
Because
That could be. I just thought it looked really. I just couldn't help laugh when I saw that. I just like, at least if you're in pain, just try to make the audience believe that you're in pain. Then you're try to make it look as realistic as you can. But that was just like, oh, and then he did like it was like maybe he just did it for laughs. Maybe he was. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, that would be my guess. There's I read quite a few complaints about the actress. I think her name was Myra Francis, who played. I thought I knew all these names, and I'm forgetting it.
Lady
Adastra, something like
yes,
that.
Lady Adastra. That's right.
Did I get it right? She's great. I mean, she definitely hams it up, but
She does.
that's fine. I mean, given the material she had and everything, I think going super, theatrical with it and silly, it was probably the right choice to go. Subtlety probably would not, work so well.
Yeah, she was good. Yeah, she was, I think, one of the better. Not, I think Tom Baker and Lala Ward were great. They always are. But
Yeah.
the others, that one guy they got zapped wasn't that good. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think she was very good. I thought she was very good. She was just a real bitch, and just I thought it was interesting how they kind of brought in the whole monopolizing metals. And I was trying to think if there's anything that was going on in 1979 that was happening that was kind of mirroring that. I do remember there was a fuel crisis, like I think that year. So I'm not sure. Maybe that's something. There's a connection there, but I thought it was interesting. There has to be some connection with what was happening at the time between monopolizing metal materials.
Right. Yeah, there definitely is like sort of like a economic commentary about ruling class, controlling the resources and the disruption to the economy by this big blob from space and that. I think you see that from time to time in Doctor Who. That's a pretty common, some social / economic commentary of that regard.
And speaking of big blobs, I guess we could play clip if we can play clip number 2 to kind of show folks
All
what
right.
the monster looks like.
All right, this is what you all came here for. The Tythonian or something like that.
Yes, he's trying to communicate with it.
And I'm surprised the Doctor did not take it on board the TARDIS to be a new companion. He seems quite enamored by it. This could have been better than Chameleon.
Hello, I am the doctor. Fred. Nothing.
Yeah, that was very interesting design monster.
And of course, that is not like the freshest of ideas. This terrible, scary monster that turns out to just be kind of like a scared prisoner, just misunderstood. Yeah. I mean, I guess the all the people they threw into the pit did get killed by the monster, but just because he was trying to communicate with them, which is a little. I mean, at the end of the day, does it really matter?
Yeah, right.
Maybe he wasn't eating the people that were thrown into the pit, but he was stupid enough, or it was stupid enough to kill them accidentally. But yeah, now that we have discussed, now that we have seen the actual creature from the pit, I would like to first. I should have shown this in the beginning.
Yes.
My comic book Interplanet, available on Fund My Comic, and Tales of Conspiracy and Madness. Going to be published about any minute now. I just got to get off my ass, do a couple of last things. It's just about ready to come out. And but although the monster from the creature from the pit has been ridiculed a lot, people have made fun of it. Not considered one of the high points of Doctor Who. It did inspire a band in England back at the time. This band called the Gelatinous Phallus. They were one that not a huge success, unfortunately, as you might imagine. But you look around, you may see some Gelatinous Phallus rarities out there. So keep your eyes open if you're a Doctor Who fan. Let us know.
I'm in tears. If only they just I think ABC a couple times. I think right. They opened for ABC. I think ABC.
Absolutely, I think so. Until
the Greg Kinn band. I think
So they understandably all got addicted to drugs, and that was the end of the band. So
I'm in tears, but yeah, get yourself a copy of Interplanetary 1. It's very, very good. It's a nice, fresh take. I think indie comics are very refreshing, and I think they're kind of getting more popularity. I love DC and Marvel. I love them both to death, but some actually need like just something a little different, kind of clear the palate a little bit, something a little different. And I think independent comics are kind of a nice little escape. So I definitely recommend issue number 1. I've read it, and very great art, very great story. And I want to see what happens in issue 2. So yes.
Thank you for the kind words. Yeah, it's the start of a science fiction epic. I hope to continue it. So please take a chance on it. If it sounds like spies in space, 2 planets in a Cold War sounds appealing to you, give it a chance. A lot of good reviews from the people who've read it, and Tales of Conspiracy and Madness, cosmic horror, 9 stories. So more information on that will be coming forward. So all right, let's get back to Creature from the Pit. Do you what would you like to cover next?
Well, it was something a little different. It's not quite about the episode. It's more about what was happening at the time. And that's merchandising. Let's see here.
Let's see. Did you? I guess
you
want to.
So this was done in 1979, and in the 70s, they figured that hey, we can make action figures based off of popular properties, and one of them right here is Star Trek. Maybe some of you probably had this when these 3 when you were kids. I do have Kirk and Spock, but I have the repros. Had McCoy a while ago, but not anymore. Then there's the Enterprise playset behind them.
Yeah.
But not only do they make toys for Star Trek, they make toys for this is something you may have heard of. A movie that I think got pretty popular in 1977. I think they maybe made a couple toys. I think they sold pretty well. I think.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
Yes, here we have the Death Star space station, which I never had as a kid, but apparently goes for Boku bucks now.
Yeah, I never had that one. I think I knew someone who had it, but yeah, just the design of it wasn't appealing to me as a kid. You get something called the Death Star, you want something that looks like the Death Star.
Right.
So
I think it's the creature from not the pit, but from the
oh, sure, yeah.
The trash monster, whatever it's called.
The trash compactor.
I think he's in there somewhere.
I think you see some like a cage down there at the bottom. That's probably it.
when I think the claws are closing in on them.
Hmm.
Let's see. So, if you were a kid growing up in the 70s or 80s, you probably have seen this logo. This is Mego Corp, and they were the ones that manufactured the Star Trek figures. They actually had passed. Lucas eventually, or originally, went to Mego and said, "Hey, I have this movie coming out. I want to make toys for it. What do you think?" And they turned him down, which they would regret later. Now,
Oh yeah, yeah.
to be fair, they didn't really know that Star Wars would become the phenomenon that it did. They had no idea. But Kenner took a chance on it, and I think they did pretty well. They made some decent money, I'd say. What you might remember Mego most for was their superhero line. Here we have all the DC and Marvel figures they did,
Wow,
um,
cool.
including the elusive Secret Identity dolls. They can only get through Montgomery Ward. That are
Oh,
very, very
really?
expensive now. There's Clark Kent here. Here's Peter Parker, and here's Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson. And yeah, they're very, very rare. I've only seen up like one of them up close at shows. I rarely see them, but
Huh.
I've seen the Peter Parker, and they go
Yeah.
for big money. Um, let's see. So they partnered with a company called Dennis Fisher, who apparently was a real person. He invented areas right there. He was an engineer, but also a toy maker, and he had his own company. He invented the spirograph, which some
Oh,
of
I
you
love
folks,
Spirograph. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I had that as a kid. Um, but no, 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 that was his creation, his idea. So Mego partnered with them to make Doctor Who figures. Here we
Oh,
have
that's awesome.
Tom Baker, Leela, the TARDIS, Dalek,
Oh
the
my
robot
God,
from
I've
Robot, and a
ne
Cyberman.
never seen that. That's amazing.
Oh,
God,
nice.
I would have killed for that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I first saw one at a convention in '89. But they go for,
Really?
like the Secret Identity figures, these go for big, big bucks. Here we have Tom Baker with hat, scarf, and the sonic screwdriver, and there's K9.
Oh, wow, I love it.
Here's
Yeah.
Leela,
Oh my
which
God, yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite Doctor Who team, Tom Baker and Leela. That's to me pretty much the peak of Doctor Who.
she was great. Yeah, these other guy great companions, but yeah, she was pretty amazing. Intrepid Explorer of the Galaxies. Here is a Cyberman that has apparently a nose.
Awesome.
They gave him a nose. I don't know why he's got a nose, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, we now can smell things. There's the robot from, well, Robot.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Have very fond memories of watching Robot. It might have been my first exposure to Doctor Who because they might have started off with that, and yeah, that's great. I had no idea there was a vintage robot figure out there. Love it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they were sold only in two places. They were sold in the UK,
Oh, all
um,
right. Well, that would explain it.
not US, but if they had, I kind of wish they had.
Yeah,
Um, here's the TARDIS.
cool box. Yeah.
Here is a Dalek, and they were also sold in Italy. Of I didn't know Doctor Who had a big following in Italy, but I guess apparently they did.
Huh.
But they were sold there too, but never in the US. That's a shame because I definitely would have probably. I'm sure a lot of people probably would have snapped them up.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah.
Probably adults and kids, but Clusia Doctor Who Lila la Campana della Polizia he
Yeah.
queste fantastici monstri or sorry monstri
Mhm.
mostri. So I thought that'd be kind of cool to share. So you never saw those, huh?
No, no, had no idea of their existence.
Yeah, yeah. They
Amazing.
first saw one at a convention in '89, but it was in the Italian box. The Italian boxes seem to be more common. I'm not sure why, but yeah, there they
Hmm.
are. Um, let's see. And speaking of robot, I found a clip I thought you might find interesting in our audience. Um, it's Doctor Who's been shown all around the world, including Japan.
Mm.
So I found a clip of it's only like 30 seconds of a clip of Doctor Who of the episode Robot dubbed in Japanese.
Oh, excellent.
So I mean, just we'll check that out. So it sounds a little bit low. He's saying no, dame, no way, forget it. Yeah, sorry folks, it sounds a little low.
Yeah.
All systems go.
All right.
Yeah. So even they had more on YouTube, but they've gotten hard. I think they took the clips down, but I didn't realize until my friend Bob told me that when you dub something, basically you have to erase everything, including the sound effects, the music, and the voices. So in some scenes they use their own music, which I think they had some interesting choices. Like one almost almost sounded like a calliope, like like a circus music, which doesn't really quite fit the scene, but that's like okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I didn't know that basically you're starting from scratch. You have to put everything back in, the background music, the sounds,
Oh, right.
everything. But yes, they made some interesting choices with I'll see if I can find more clips online, but that's all I could find. But
Yeah. Very entertaining.
yeah,
Not surprising that Doctor Who would be popular in Japan.
kinda. I think the series got more popular, I think, during the reboot or the Christopher Eccleston David Tennant. I think those are more popular like now than the classic stories. They got a few classic stories, as you can see. You got Tom Baker, but yeah, apparently not as many as you would think.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird how certain shows catch on in other countries and other
Mm-hmm.
ones don't. We've seen the Japanese Spider-Man, how different that is from the American version. That's very different. So,
Yeah. Very different take on the character.
very, yes. It's like let's make him a motocross race, motorcycle
Yeah.
racer. But yeah, that's very, very different. So, but you know, there was this interesting special that was on Disney Plus called it kind of basically gave the background of the Japanese Spider-Man, and the guy that was kind of behind was an American, and basically said just people want to be entertained the way they want to be entertained, and that does kind of
Hmm.
change from culture to culture. So
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't mind at all seeing different interpretations of characters.
no,
I
not me
mean,
neither. No, and that
yeah,
definitely was different with the
yeah.
him driving around in a car and fighting a robot. That was very different, but I liked it.
Oh God, yeah. American Spider-Man is definitely the best, but yeah, I enjoy the heck out of Japanese Spider-Man too.
Spider String.
Yeah.
You have to announce
Oh
what they're going
yeah.
to do.
Oh yeah. Spider-Man fighting kaiju.
Yes.
That was all right. So any last thoughts on Creature from the Pit?
Well, yes. I guess we kind of all over the place here, but yeah, I'm not saying don't watch it. I think you should watch all the episodes that you can, but I don't think this was exactly one of his best episodes. It definitely wasn't Ark in Space or Horror Fang Rock or Pyramids of Mars. I know that's your favorite. Definitely not in the category of those. It's good, but not definitely not his best.
Yeah, definitely not a top 10 episode. Uh, you know, the high point was the wittiness of it. That there was a
Yes.
lot of very witty dialogue. We didn't talk at all about the astrologer, but he had some funny lines.
He did,
Um,
yeah, he did.
but unfortunately, it took any sense of danger out of the show altogether. You know,
Yeah,
these horrible scavengers were just for uh, comedic relief. It was kind of a funny gag when the doctor is hanging on the side of a rock wall and he pulls out a book that's called,
yes.
Teach Yourself Tibetan, which was a major problem with the episode, that you can't let it bother you. But shouldn't the doctor be able to read Tibetan? But they need to have
Some
that gag.
doctors,
I was
yeah.
It was funny that he took out a book called Teach Yourself Tibetan, but it was a bit much. He's hanging on the side of a rock wall, with a monster below him, and he's reading a book. It was you could not take this episode seriously. And I think if you're
No.
okay with that, it's an enjoyable episode. I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I guess I wanted to, but I guess it's just I think even if the episode isn't, in my opinion, isn't good, at least Tom Baker, he's still good.
Yeah, yeah.
Performance, just yeah, I think alone. I think it was for all of them. Maybe the episode may not have been the best. I think they've all had their classics and the not so classics, but I think the main actor's the performance makes up for it. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, the acting was fine. Uh, I thought the cliffhangers were pretty good.
they were. Just the first one was very good. Yeah, the first one was very good. And
Yeah,
the
yeah, I thought the cliffhangers were solid, which is like one of the main reasons I watch Doctor Who. It's
yes,
disappointing if the cliffhangers aren't that good. So good cliffhangers will go a long way with me. So some good dramatic scenes. And I thought this is the only episode of Doctor Who I really saw that was structured like this, like a four-part story that more or less gets resolved after like 5 minutes of episode part 4, and then it
yes,
just kind of goes on to a whole different direction. Like the main villain dies like 5 minutes into part 4,
yes.
and then like the storyline changes. The focus shifts to something completely different, not completely different, but quite different from the first 3 episodes, and I kind of like that. It was stopped you from getting bored.
Yeah,
They went into a different direction, which, with the BBC in the 1970s having a big space kind of calamity is not exactly one of the strong points of Doctor Who, but it worked out. I would say like maybe 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10.
I would probably give it yeah, I mean, I gotta give it a look, I gotta give it a 4. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I wanted to like a little more, but I just couldn't do it. But we're gonna yank a star. It's like but
Yeah.
it's gonna sound. I think it's gonna sound not too. It's kind of hard to find that medium between you know not too ridiculous and somewhat believable. But it's I know it's hard, but yeah. But just hey, it's on YouTube. Yeah, just give it a try. I'm not gonna tell you, don't watch it. Um, because I think if you're a fan, just might have watch them all, right? So watch every single one.
Oh,
So
sure. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
give it a try, but just kind of keep your expectations kind of down here. So
Yeah.
but maybe you like it. Maybe you like it. I mean, your mileage may vary. Um,
Yeah, and I believe City of Death is also on YouTube. So chronologically, Creature from the Pit follows
it does, yeah, it does. Comes right after,
City of
yeah,
Death. But
yeah,
yeah, I don't recommend watching them in that order, because City of Death is considered one of the all-time classics of Doctor Who. We
yes,
didn't even talk about Douglas Adams, but when I was watching this episode, when I was watching part 1, the closing credits, and I see script editor Douglas Adams, I'm like,
right, yes,
oh, definitely had his fingerprints on it.
yeah. I guess he did a lot of, yeah, 'cause
But
a lot of humor,
yeah,
a lot of humor,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I don't think Douglas Adams' priority was probably making it realistic and dramatic. So
Yeah, I guess yeah, I guess it's kind of hard to kind of find middle ground, but Yeah, no, I forgot. So I think somewhere I have a book signed by him. I didn't meet him. My friend in high school did. He was a big Anglophile, and he got me into Doctor Who and Blake Seven and Hitchhiker's Guide
Oh,
and
nice.
lots of other stuff too. But yeah, Monty Python. Well, I was already into my Python, but yeah, but he got me into Douglas Adams too, and definitely a gentleman left us way too soon. Yeah, great writer.
Gosh, yeah. Yeah, I was a big fan. Yeah, big fan of Douglas Adams when I was younger. I don't think I've ever heard the original radio show,
Oh,
which
I recommend it. You got to hear it. It's great.
yeah. I mean, back when I was a kid, that stuff was not readily available. Now I'm sure I could get it pretty easily, and I need to do that, give that a listen.
The
But
same guy, his name was Jeff. He was the Anglophile. He actually had all the cassettes in a big, this, like, big case. And yeah, he was just a big fan. But yeah, I listened to him. But when you can, definitely listen to the radio drama. It's great. It's hilarious.
awesome.
So,
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, when I lived in Albuquerque, Douglas Adams came to Albuquerque
oh wow.
to sign books at a bookstore, and
Oh nice.
I was too friggin' lazy to go. I was just like, I don't feel like going out.
Huh.
I was just tired, work that day. The bookstore was on the other side of town, and then the weekly paper came out with an interview with Douglas Adams, and it turned out like the journalist took him to a bar like right in my neighborhood to
Oh
interview him and hang out with him. What a bummer. I was like, Douglas Adams was, hanging out in a bar like half a mile from my house. Had I known, I could have gone and been a fanboy.
yeah. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that's who knew. We didn't know.
Yeah, unfortunately he died pretty shortly after that.
Yeah, it's a shame. I forget how he died. If he was sick, but yeah, he died pretty young. But
Yeah.
who knew? You never know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like me with Neil Adams. I'm kind of sorry I didn't get to meet him when I had the chance in Baltimore, but I years ago.
Mm,
But and then a year
yeah.
later he was dead. It's like so you just never
Yeah.
know. You never know. But you know, um, I kind of want to read those books again now.
Oh, I've been meaning to reread Hitchhikers forever. I love them, and I don't really remember them that well because this was like the '80s.
Yeah,
Dirk
right. Yeah.
Dirk Gently's holistic detective agency. I think I read the first one, maybe not any of the others, but yeah, I loved all that stuff as a teenager. Total, geek loner kind of stuff. Reading Douglas Adams books while I'm wearing my Doctor Who fan club button on my denim jacket and all that. All right. So I think we have said quite enough about Creature from the Pit. Come back and look for our next episode, which will hopefully be not too long from now.
Yes,
So
indeed. I
thank you,
can't wait for
Jim.
it to be. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Jason, for having me. This was a lot of fun. Very
Yeah.
had a lot of fun doing this, and hope the audience did too. And definitely, well, two things: get your copy of Interplanetary #1, and also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget that. Smash that like button.
Yes, you must. You must.
All right.
We command you. Or this.
All right.
What's that band? The Soleil.
The
Yes, they're gonna
the
come after you.
gelatinous phallus. Yep.
Yes, all of them. So
Yeah.
they're gonna come back from the
You
dead and get you. It's like
yeah, you don't want these guys coming after you.
knocking on your door. It's like
All right. Bye, everybody.
take care, everybody. Bye.